I'll show you how to land remote jobs abroad. You can unlock the training for free in the link below. Now let's see how the else and the finally keywords work when you are handling exceptions in Python. So you can see that we got a fruit name here. We got how many people are splitting the bill here. But we have a try block here that uses this information. When you have this type of situation, first thing you need to notice is that you may cause a problem because these two inputs are outside of the try block. That means that if something goes wrong here or here, we are not handling the exceptions as we did with the code that is here, right? And we have a situation that is probably going to happen here. This split bill data that we are getting from the user is being typecasted to an int. But what if the user types a text like this? Type of fruit, peach. How many people are splitting the bill? 0 or 10. We have the value error not handled. So this indicates that probably is better to put this code inside of the try block also, right? But does it make sense to get one data inside of the try block and other data outside of the block? I don't like this because the context of getting the inputs are going to be spread in our code. So I rather keep the context of what my lines of code are doing together, okay? But now we have another problem. Can you see that we have too much code inside of a try block? And I could have more code, like we don't have here a message telling the user that the operation is finished. Here we print the splitted value and we don't tell nothing. So let's tell something. Always come back. Thanks. Always come back. We have too much code inside of a try block. And that's where the else and the finally keywords comes in. Because else, in this context, you probably already know how else works in the condition context with the if keyword, right? But in this context of handling exceptions, else works differently. So when you put else after a try except block, you are basically telling Python that what's inside of the else block is going to happen if no exception has occurred previously. All right, so if this try block runs normally, the else block is going to run. So what happens if no exception happened? Okay, so in this block of code, what can we put into the else block? What here is going to happen only if no exception has occurred? I can see this line in this scenario, right? Because we are only returning to the user the splitted value if our division works, and our division is only going to work if the fruit that the user typed is available, or our division is only going to work if the split bill is really a number. So let's use this situation to add a new exception here. Except value error, print. Is this the only data that can return a value error? Yes, it is, because this is the only that's being typecast. So how many people are splitting the bill? Type a number to inform how many people are splitting the bill. All right, just mapped another exception that I know that is going to happen here inside of the try block. If you see here, we have the value error. Now it's mapped. But let's continue with our else block. So if everything is okay, we are going to tell the user the splitted value. But we are only going to do this if no exception occurred. If value error, zero division error, or key error, or any exception that we don't know that might happen occurs, we are not going to tell our user the splitted value, right? So let's see what happens in this example. Python error handling, and type a fruit to get the price. Peach. How many people are splitting the bill? 5. We still have the splitted value working, but now instead of having this line of code being executed inside of the try block, we have executed inside of the else block. All right, let's see what happens if an exception occurs. So let's force an exception here. Type the fruit, grape. We know that we don't have grape in our dictionary, so it is going to return a exception. How many people? 15. Fruit unavailable. We didn't print the splitted value because the fruit is unavailable. We would not print if it was here, but differently than being here, that it was not going to run because the previous lines raised an exception. Now we are going to put here to isolate the code that must run only if no exception is raised. And this makes our try block cleaner, because in this case we only have one line that has to run only if no exception is raised. But we could have more lines, and this try block was going to be giant, you know. But now we can isolate parts of our code with the else keyword. And we also have the finally keyword that you can use to isolate parts of your code that has to run no matter what happened. We can see that this line, print, thanks, always come back, is a line that no matter the result, it must run when we finish our program. It's a farewell line of code to my user, you know. So if we keep this line here, if an exception occurred in the previous lines, this line of code is not going to run. You can see here that in our console when we have the handled exception fruit unavailable, right after the fruit unavailable, we don't have nothing, but we should have this print right here. And that's where the finally keyword comes in. What happens no matter what happened before, you know? So else is what happens if no exception happened. Finally is what happens no matter what happened before, or just what happened. And now, even if I have an exception, this line of code that prints thanks always come back is going to run. So let's type a fruit to get the price. Grape. How many people are splitting the bill? 5. Thanks always come back. Grape is unavailable, right? Fruit unavailable. We got caught in an exception, specifically this exception, key error. Even getting caught in an exception, we still printed the farewell line of code that our program has. And remember, again, we only had one line of code that should run no matter what happened, but we could have many more. The same scenario as this line. Previously, they were in the try block. Let's pretend that we had 5 lines of code that should run if no exception happened, and let's pretend that we had 5 lines of code that should run no matter what happened. Our try block was going to have 10 lines of code more than it has now, you know. So using the else and the finally keywords makes our code cleaner and our scenarios more spreaded. And that's how you use the else and the finally keywords to handle your exceptions and to organize your code while handling your exceptions. If you're a developer and you are not working remotely yet, you are missing out. I made a free training to fix that. Go to the link in the description and unlock it for free now.